Have you ever seen an everyday symbol and wondered exactly where it originated from? Some symbols have become so misunderstood that they've completely lost their original meanings. We start with one of the most recognizable symbols in the world today. Instantly recognizable the world over, Bluetooth has become an essential tool in almost every part of technology. Wireless communication devices were developed in the 1990s, and one engineer suggested the codename Bluetooth. The idea was that King Harold, also known as Bluetooth, was famous for uniting different tribes, much like the modern Bluetooth would unite people. It wasn't just the name they borrowed. The Bluetooth symbol was a mixture of two runes used by the Vikings to represent the Nordic letters H and B for Harold Bluetooth. King Harold's legacy lives on, even if you never heard of him. Next, a symbol that's overshadowed by its more popular counterpart. It's easy to confuse the Seal of Solomon with the Star of David. After all, they look almost identical. But there are a few differences that set these two symbols apart from each other. The hexagram in the Seal of Solomon has three-dimensional interwoven triangles, while the Star of David is flat with overlapping triangles. It's claimed anyone who wears the seal will be protected from evil spirits and negativity. The seal is often mistaken for the Star of David, and its true meaning has been all but forgotten. The next symbol on our list became associated with the occult, even though it had a much different origin. The image of a serpent or dragon eating its own tail has been around since the time of Egyptians, and has also been used in Greek and Norse traditions. It represents eternity, cyclical nature, and unity. But in modern times, it's become a symbol used in the world of the occult. This is probably because of its association with life and death. The Ouroboros is at least accurate, which is more than can be said for this next symbol. When the US Army picked a caduceus as the logo for their medical corps, they really meant to use the Rod of Asclepius. The caduceus featured a staff with two snakes coiled around it, where the Rod of Asclepius featured a staff with only one snake. Asclepius was the ancient Greek god of medicine and healing, so it's puzzling why the army didn't use his symbol instead. But the Rod of Asclepius wasn't ignored forever, and would eventually become a symbol associated with commerce or mysticism. This next symbol went from a sign of authority to one of secrecy. The crossed keys symbol has its history planted firmly in religion. They are known as the Keys of Heaven, or St. Peter's keys, and according to religious texts, they were given to St. Peter by Jesus. The keys would grant St. Peter the authority to make binding decisions on earth that are also binding in heaven. The keys are also a prominent symbol of the papacy, appearing on the papal coat of arms, as well as other religions and holy places. But ask some people and they'd tell you that this is the sign of a secret society, as the symbol has become a part of conspiracy theory law, and been linked to messianic societies, which only fuel the conspiracies even further. Much like the crossed keys, the next symbol on our list has also become associated with the dark forces of the world. The black sun is another symbol that has become connected to Nazi Germany, and for all the wrong reasons. You might be familiar with the black sun symbol, as it first appeared during the reign of the Third Reich, and since then it's been used by neo-Nazis as well as other far-right organizations. But the symbol of the black sun that we're familiar with today was actually based on a design that appeared on the floor of a castle of Willisburg from around 1603. Much like the black sun, this next symbol is still used for sinister purposes today. The Petrine Cross, also known as the Cross of St. Peter, but better known as the Upside-Down Cross, has become one of the world's most powerful symbols of anti-Christianity. But its original meaning was something very different indeed. It started with the crucifixion of St. Peter. He felt he wasn't worthy enough to be crucified in the same way as Jesus Christ, so he asked to be crucified upside down. After St. Peter's death, religious followers saw the Petrine Cross as a symbol of humility, with some churches still displaying the cross today. But the very meaning of the Petrine Cross was changed completely with the arrival of movies like The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, and it was soon adopted by Satan worshippers and heavy metal fans as a symbol of the devil. Just like the Cross of St. Peter, this next symbol has been hijacked in modern times and turned into something completely different. You'll know this next symbol by its other name, the evil eye. Today, it's a symbol you'll find across the world, but its origins started in the Mediterranean and Middle East. The Nazar is over 3,000 years old and hails from Syria. It's usually represented by a large white eye inside a blue decoration, and its purpose is to ward off evil curses and protect the wearer from negative energy. The Nazar has deep symbolic meanings that stretch back thousands of years, and yet today you'll most likely find it in a souvenir store, hanging off of a bracelet or a necklace. But there's one symbol that couldn't be any more misunderstood from its original meaning. In 1918, the Soviet Union launched a competition for artists and designers to create an official seal for the Soviet state. There were countless entries with designs such as eagles and overflowing cornucopias, but the winning entry was striking as it was simple. It featured a crossed hammer and sickle, sheaves of wheat, a rising sun, and a vertical sword. The design was revised after Russia negotiated its withdrawal from the First World Order. In order to maintain Russia's peacemaking efforts, the sword was removed. Artist Yevgeny Kozmurkin then perfected the design, and the hammer and sickle was born. It's meant to represent the unity between agricultural and industrial workers, but it soon became the symbol of communism and oppression around the world, and was later adopted by countries like China and Vietnam. Next, a symbol that represents a different kind of unity altogether. Check out any punk rocker, and odds are they'll have an anarchy symbol somewhere on their clothing. The symbol calls for its viewer to stand up and overthrow the machines of capitalism and governments, and has become popular with political groups like Antifa. You'd be forgiven for thinking the symbol is from modern times, when in fact, it's older than you can imagine. Its exact origins are unknown, but around 1860, the symbol was used by the Federal Council of Spain of the International Workers' Association, when they formed unions to fight for workers' rights. Over the years, the anarchy symbol has taken on a more simple meaning, with the A obviously standing for anarchy, and the O standing for order. Put together, they're meant to inspire its viewer to find order through anarchy. Another inspiring symbol is next, but one that's been used to spread hate. You should recognize the Celtic Cross from various different religious buildings, especially graveyards. It's become known as a very traditional Christian symbol, even though it isn't strictly Christian. It's believed it started life as a pagan symbol, representing the sun and nature's cycles, before it was adopted by the church. Sadly, in recent decades, it's become associated with far-right groups and used to spread messages of hate. Thankfully, some Christian symbols have evolved into something more positive. Crossing your fingers has become ingrained in culture to represent good luck or to wish a positive outcome. But it was once another secret symbol that Christians used to recognize each other during times of persecution from the Roman Empire. Christians believed that crossing their fingers could invoke the power of the cross Jesus was crucified on, and offer protection and hope. In 16th century England, the practice of crossing your fingers was used to promote good health and keep evil away. It soon developed into a sign of good luck or to avoid misfortune, slowly veering away from its religious origins into the world of superstition, where it remains today. This next symbol also started out with a more positive message, but was hijacked for more radical purposes. Many symbols on this list have been used by political groups or activists to help carry their message, and over time, the original meaning has been lost. The Labrys falls firmly into that category. The symbol is of Lydian origin and was created on the island of Crete. Labrys literally means axe, and its symbol was used to represent female goddesses. When the Amazons adopted the symbol, they used it to represent female empowerment. In the 70s, feminist groups adopted the symbol as a sign of strength, self-sufficiency, and their struggle for equal rights. But it lost its popularity when other groups started using the symbol to help spread more radical messages that many disagreed with. Today, it's unlikely you'll find anyone who can tell you what the original meaning behind the double-headed axe really is. Next, what better way to wish someone good luck than to hope they have an accident? You may have heard the phrase break a leg many times before, especially when it comes to the world of theater or entertainment. It generally means good luck, but when it was conceived, it was aimed at a specific group of people. In the early days of theater, venues would often overbook artists, and that meant many of them wouldn't have the time to perform. If they didn't step foot on the stage to perform their act, then they didn't get paid. The leg is a curtain that hides the backstage area from the audience's view, and if an artist took one step past the leg, then they were on stage and would get paid. From there, the term break a leg became the popular symbol of good luck that we know today. But that's not the only bone being broken on this list today. Breaking a chicken or turkey bone has been a tradition for many of us throughout our lives. The idea is that two people split a wishbone between them, and whoever gets the bigger piece can make a wish. The Wishbone Tradition has been around longer than you might think, dating back around 2,500 years, since the time of the Etruscans. When they killed a chicken, the collarbone was considered sacred and left untouched. The Etruscan people would then make a wish, hoping the collarbone would bring them good luck. The Romans adapted some of those beliefs and would fight over unbroken chicken bones for good luck. From there, the tradition spread to Europe and then England, before becoming a staple of the American Thanksgiving celebrations. Let's move on from a symbol of good luck to a symbol of success. The Romans were heavily influenced by Greek symbols, and their admiration of the Laurel Wreath was no exception. It was popular with the military, often worn after victory, so it's not hard to see why it later became a symbol of the academic world. But like many symbols today, it's been associated with secret societies and conspiracy theories. And we have another gesture that started in the military but found its way into everyday life. Waving. It can be a greeting or a goodbye. It seems a simple yet natural gesture and is meant to be a sign of friendship or peace from one person to another. But there's a reason it involves an open hand, and it's not to say hello. It's been suggested that the Romans and the Greeks were the first to use the wave as a form of greeting. Their open hands would show they held no weapons and had only peaceful intentions. The wave would later be replaced by the salute, which would eventually become the more formal greeting for military personnel. But the gesture of waving remained, and it became so popular that it etched its way into everyday life. This next symbol also originated in ancient Rome, and has become a symbol of fear and control. When the Fasces was first created, it symbolized the power and unity of the Roman Empire. Made up of wooden rods bound around an axe, it's meant to represent the strength of unity and the power to enforce the law. But over time, it stopped being a symbol of unity and started being a symbol of dictatorship. From 1922 to 1943, Mussolini and the National Fascist Party ruled Italy with an iron fist. Mussolini took the Fasces and made it his own, and since then, it's only been seen as a symbol of oppression, with its true origins lost in propaganda. Next is a sign that's misunderstood in almost every part of the world. Showing somebody the OK sign is a popular gesture when your mouth is full, or if someone is out of hearing distance. It evokes a sense of well-being and reassurance. But do it in the wrong place, and you could be heading for trouble. To Americans especially, the OK hand symbol is a sign that everything is okay, and it's also recognized in a few other Western countries. In most other countries, the gesture will be meaningless. But in Europe, it could be considered extremely offensive. Another hand gesture next, and this one shouldn't offend anyone. Hold out your pinky and your thumb and close your other fingers into a fist, and you've got the Shaka Sign. It's a well-known gesture in Hawaii and means everything from okay, alright, hang loose, no problem, for sure, and many other variations on top of that. But if its origins are to be believed, the symbol was created purely by mistake. Many claim it was created by a Hawaiian named Hamanakalili, who had lost 3 of his fingers on his right hand and used that hand to bless someone. Other versions claim that it was created by a surfer after losing 3 fingers in a horrific shark attack, or even by the Spaniards after they first landed in Hawaii. I think I like today's interpretation the best. The next symbol is another that suffers from a dark history that many would rather forget. The stylized lily is a symbol you may recognize from French history. Watch any version of the Three Musketeers and you'll find it appears frequently. It's meant to be a symbol of purity and Catholicism, but it soon became linked to slavery, changing its meaning forever. Colonial France ruled their slaves with the Code Noir, or slave code. The code stated that any slave who was caught stealing or escaping would be branded with the Fleur-de-Lis. The cross may just be one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. Although it needs no introduction, its origins are something which aren't talked about enough. It's been around since ancient Babylon, before its message spread through Syria and beyond, captivating a large population of the planet. But those Romans had to spoil all the fun by using the cross to persecute political prisoners, giving birth to the crucifixions we are more familiar with today. With that in mind, wearing a cross seems an odd way to celebrate Jesus, as it caused him so much pain and suffering. And there's a Halloween tradition that's meant to be wholesome, but has a bloody history. Every Halloween, doorsteps and windows across the world feature the same symbol, the jack-o'-lantern. The lantern welcomes the Halloween season with a sense of excitement and fun, with families everywhere carving scary faces into their pumpkins before illuminating them with candles. But its Celtic origins are dark, and not for the squeamish. It's believed it started in Northern Europe, where natives carved faces into vegetables, which, well, seems harmless enough, except those faces were meant to represent the heads of their enemies. The tradition evolved in 18th century Ireland after the tale of Stingy Jack emerged. According to myth, Jack wasn't allowed into heaven or hell after his death, so he wandered the earth eternally, carrying a carved turnip lantern. The jack-o'-lantern gained popularity in Northern America, where pumpkins took over the role of the turnip, and it only gained popularity from there. This next gesture is more lighthearted than others, and is recognized across the world. The wink is essentially a symbol of secrecy. It's a gesture often made between two people as a way of communicating privately. It can mean anything from flirting to reassuring, from a secret signal to a pledge of allegiance. It was used in superstition for a time, being used to ward off evil or bad luck, but by the 19th century it was primarily used as a way of men showing a romantic interest. Later, it would evolve into letting someone in on a joke, until it became the emoji most of us use to this day. That leaves us with the final and possibly most famous symbol of all. There are a few things that have taken the world by storm, like the internet, and the @ sign is one of its most recognizable symbols. The idea is simple. It's a punctuation mark that separates the username from the domain name and an email address. It's also become shortened slang for the word @, but it's a lot older than you might have thought. It's been found in Latin manuscripts that date as far back as the 6th and 7th century, where it was interpreted as from the Latin word ad, which meant at or toward. It first appeared on typewriters as early as 1900, but became the symbol we know today in 1971. It was Ray Tomlinson, an American computer programmer who chose the @ symbol for email addresses while working on ARPANET and changed the face of computing forever. That's all for today, folks. We finally got through it. Hopefully there's nothing there to give you nightmares, but let me lighten the mood with a little fun. Trivia time. The ichthys, or Jesus fish, was created as a secret symbol by Christians to keep their religion hidden from the Romans. What other symbol on our list was also created as a secret symbol by Christians? A, the hammer and sickle. B, fingers crossed. C, the wink. D, the Shaka Sign. Let me know your answer in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content, and I'll catch you next time. See, I'm doing the salute. Symbols.